Welcome into another episode of Live Good DyNasty. We got our second Dynasty-focused episode of the week with this re-ranking, or I guess redrafting our rookies. Seeing where we messed up, seeing where we nailed it, how we would do it over if we could do it over right now. I'm Arlen. This is Nate. What's up, Nate?
What is up? Yeah, I like looking back and seeing where we were dumb before and getting that second chance that you never really get in real life.
Yeah. I love the surprises of like when the reality sets in of like what these players are. There's one player that we'll get into in a moment that is just like been the biggest surprise to me, where it just not on my radar at all, as a possibility of being this dominant. But before we get into that, we have been stuck at 79 subscribers for like weeks, and it's killing me. So either if you're subscribed, unsubscribe. if you're not subscribed, subscribe. At this point, I just want to see the freaking number change. But either way, if you're listening to us on one of the podcasts apps, we're on all the main ones: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, iHeartRadio. We're on those, so you can leave a review. That always helps us out. And then on YouTube, yes, the subscribe piece, commenting, liking, sharing, throwing this out to the people that like Dynasty football content. We are going to we definitely have more consistent during the season of 1 or 2 episodes a week, and then we'll still have some off-season, out-of-season content where we go even more focused into Dynasty itself. But we were already having these conversations, so about 9-10 months ago, we started talking about getting this thing kicked off and actually recording those conversations that we've already had. We usually focus on Dynasty, a little bit more redraft during the season, and then we also like to have these conversations about just the fantasy football etiquette, rule structures, things like that. Cool different types of leagues, like vampire leagues that we talked about and then decided to start this year. So if you're into fantasy football as a whole, this is a great channel to subscribe to.
Check it out.
All right. All right. We are going down through probably a round and a half to 2 rounds. How it'll work is I will just manually pick them, but we will each, we are not going to own a team ourselves. We're just going to kind of pick, if we are in each individual spot, who would we be picking there, just by talent alone of what we think is a better dynasty own right now. I'm going to share our board so you can follow along with us. All right, with the 101, my heart says Marvin Harrison Jr. My mind, and if you listen to our wide receiver ranking episode this week, says something totally different. Malik Nabers is my pick at the 101, and I wouldn't be surprised if later this year or next year this swaps back and I feel more confident with Marvin. But as of right now, I think Malik Nabers has proven enough that he is the top wide receiver in this last year's draft class.
Yeah, I agree. I think Malik Nabers is a good way to go. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the quarterback rotation of his career, because the Giants never seem to figure it out after Eli Manning. So we'll figure out what happens there. Here, I would want to quickly follow it up with Marvin Harrison. But as you know, I do have a tendency to be super unconventional with my number 2 overall pick. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to do Marvin Harrison. Here? I was trying to talk. I was considering doing something that's sneaky there, but I think the right answer, and I have my responsible dad hat on sometimes. The right answer here is going to be Marvin Harrison, just to lock that in. He's got talent. Before the season started, I would have said uncomparable to anybody else, but Malik Nabers has shown flashes of being insanely talented and flashier and sexier along the way. But Marvin Harrison, I think, is the right call to go here, but I'm very interested to see what you do after these top two guys.
Yeah, I didn't come into this with much of a plan. I think if there was two more very high consistent weeks from Jayden Daniels, I would maybe consider it here. But seeing that floor hit twice in a row hurt me in my heart. I'm going to go Brock Bowers with this pick.
Interesting.
This is the player that I did not have I didn't have belief in. I thought that I had belief in the player. The situation I didn't. I thought, great, you just washed Myers and Bowers by picking them, having them both on the same team. And it turns out you only watched one of them. Bowers is the guy there, and he's immediately putting up insane numbers. This is not even counting this week where he really like hit even higher. Like,
yeah, blew my mind.
I have to put respect on that name and say that there's a really good chance that you have the next Kelsey. And this guy is, and tight ends go longer too than any other position. So for the next 12 years, you might have a dominant force at a onesie position that's going to give you such an advantage. I can't pass that up. I'm going Bowers here.
All right. Well, with that in mind, I was scared off by the inconsistent last few weeks, but I really think the rib injury is messing with his confidence in running and even getting the power in his throws coming from his core. So here I would still go Jayden Daniels. I'm going to grab Jayden there because I think he's just the QB you want out of this class, though another name down the line was surprising to me, but Jayden Daniels is someone I would take here.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is I liked him better than Caleb Williams, but I didn't think that he would do enough to get up this high. And I think you even teased picking him at 4 because I think you have the 104. And you teased like maybe I would, but he'll probably fall back to me towards the end. And I think he was picked right before. And then your top rival got him through trade. So there's a couple people I would consider here for myself at 5. I like the Jayden Daniels pick. I think I would have done that as well. There's one player that sticks out above anybody else, and it's not Odunze, though I think he's a great buy low candidate. If you're looking to sell low, hit me up.
I hope so.
Brian Thomas Jr. I think is the pick here. So I tend to have to see something pretty amazing out of tight end quarterback to break into the top wide receivers. Same thing with running backs, but that can be done pretty easily with like a top tier running back, like a Bijan prospect. But to break the top few wide receivers, you've got to do something really special. And I think my confidence in Bowers and Daniels of being a thing for the next foreseeable future is slightly higher than Brian Thomas, but I think Brian Thomas is the last one on my list where I'm very confident that he is a thing.
Fair enough. I am going to put some confidence in what my actual number 4 pick was.
Okay.
Here. And at number 6, I'm going to go Ladd McConkey. We talked about this in our wide receiver re-rank on our last episode, in that he and Brian Thomas Jr. actually have very, very similar stats from their rookie season so far in their first 11 weeks. And Ladd has the better and I believe more consistent quarterback play going forward. I think has the better potential. He's grown into a more consistent option for his quarterback, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. And the relationship they have, the freedom that Justin's playing with, I think they've got a couple years of just being awesome together. So I'm going to go with Ladd there.
Does the rise of QJ, Quentin Johnson, scare you at all?
No, because it's happening congruently. They're growing at the same time. So I don't think. Do I think it gives me great confidence if there's ever injury to QJ that Ladd will explode onto the scene? But I think he's been growing. He QJ's getting the touchdowns, Lad's getting the work.
Okay.
So I just think that's where it's going.
Yeah. All right, my next pick would be after I would do the same. I think so far I'm in full alignment. I might have switched 5 and 4. I might have done Thomas above Jayden Daniels, but it was a coin flip. Lad McConkey I would also do at 6. At 7, 7 is where it gets really hard. I'm gonna go Odunze. I still believe in the talent.
Okay.
I think it's gonna take longer, but I believe that he, out of the players that are left, is the most talented. And DJ Moore doesn't really excite me too much. I think Caleb Williams. I think there's brighter days ahead, but even if not, I think Odunze can still continue to develop and next year kind of break out to that next level. So
sure.
This is probably the one I'm most worried about. If I was actually picking here, this is who I would pick, and I would not be. This is the first pick that I wouldn't be confident in my pick. And this is somebody I loved.
Yeah, I loved coming. Obviously, told me you loved him a little more than you actually did, but that's fine. Going into the year, Odunze being my number 2 pick overall this year, going into our dynasty draft. But I agree. I think the talent's there. He's had some games where it has looked great, but there's a lot of pieces there, and Caleb Williams, who we thought was going into the best situation a rookie can go into and build confidence. I think we very highly underestimated the importance of a great offensive line, which he does not have. We talked about all the skill position players that he has, and I don't know how quickly that gets fixed for him. So it makes me a little nervous. At number 8, this is where it's getting really, really interesting. And I'm in a world where I'm thinking about like other positions I need to fill, who's the top tier, and who surprised me. And this is my surprise pick. It would have been Brock Bowers, but obviously you took him.
I think I know.
So what's that? My surprise is a running back who sneaks into my top 10.
Oh, never mind.
Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Hey, that's a great pick.
So that's someone that, if you look at his snap percentage and how they're utilizing him, he is being used as a RB1 overall on his team. Devin Singletary's fallen off.
He's ranked like 183 on this ADP from preseason. Great pick.
Well, you know what? I'm putting him in there because, he's a way more than half of the snaps since week 5. And is getting a ton of points, getting a ton of opportunities. 18 attempts in the last game, 16 attempts a game ago, 20 attempts in week 8. So I think he's just grown into an RB1, someone that I would definitely include in my top 10 if we're redrafting today.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's a great pick. I'm going to I'm going to the quarterback position. You know who it is, yeah?
I know this is, yeah.
Yeah. Holy moly.
What? Like what?
Yeah. I heard a nickname for him, Bo Namath, and I'm all about it.
You're here for it?
Yeah, I'm here for it. Bo Nix, I think the only thing we mentioned about him when we talked about him in the beginning of the year, and I don't even know if this was like a recorded piece or if it was just our side conversations, but that Peyton Manning, like the one thing that gives me some hope here is like Peyton Manning hasn't really picked a round 1 quarterback, and he's been able to like find these diamonds in the rough. And maybe he can do something like that with, like, he had enough confidence to move away from their veteran quarterback and really just go after somebody. So I feel like his rushing surprised me. I don't know if I just didn't know enough about him in college. His rushing has surprised me. Every week he seems like he's getting a little bit better and becoming now a must start. And I think it happened like this last 3 weeks where I'm like, okay, he's just going to keep doing this, and he's legit, and we got to respect that. And he's making other players like Sutton be actually legitimate here. So I think Bo Nix is, I think he's a player that we need to pay attention to, and should have been within the first round in hindsight.
Yeah. 2 things real quick about that. One, I'm sure you meant Sean Payton and not Peyton Manning.
Did I say Peyton Manning?
You said Peyton Manning. So just want to call that out.
I'm not surprised. I do that a lot. I can't break in my head. I do it before I correct it out of my mouth. But
he did play for the Broncos for a hot second there. Yeah, that's just wanted to call that
all right. Out. Well, yeah, he's top 7, and Peyton Manning told Sean Payton to draft him. Is what I meant.
There you go.
Thank you for catching that.
Of course, and that one was so unbelievable. I forgot what my second thing was, but yeah, Bo Nix is a great call there. I like it, and I think it's that was the other guy that kind of snuck in. Other these guys, the rest of these guys, I'm thinking of and having my on my big board here are all pretty chalky. But if I were to go to my number 10 here, I am going to go with another. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't like going running back in a rookie draft, but I think Bucky Irving deserves to be here.
Really?
Yeah. So here's my thought process.
Are you sure?
I'm talking myself out of it. I like Bucky Irving here.
The reason, let me push it back a little bit. The reason why we haven't brought up Brooks is because you have Hubbard, who is far less of a threat than Hall. Oh no, we're talking Tampa Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Braylon Allen for a moment. Bucky Irving makes more sense.
Yeah. I was wondering about it.
I don't hate it.
You still don't like it. You still don't like it necessarily. He's still under half the snap percentage. And he's splitting with Rachaad White, right? But early in the season, he looked like the more explosive back. Rachaad White's kind of found his way back into it, and has looked pretty good.
But almost all on passing, like the passing work.
The rushing opportunities are still coming to Bucky, but he also gets passing down work. He gets a few receptions that he's getting over the last. He's getting double-digit opportunities every single week.
Are you still talking through it, or is this your pick?
This is my pick now.
Okay.
I've talked myself back into it. Your face blew me out of the water for a second, but yeah. Messing with me, dude. But I'm going.
Okay. Well, so are you not worried about? Are you not worried about White? Like, are you picking him saying White's going to continue to fade out, and Bucky Irving is going to get a bulk of it? Because for me, what's the difference between, other than, I guess you saw some, but him and Brooks? I think what's the difference between him and Brooks? Well, Brooks, I know that we haven't seen him yet, but he's supposed to be far superior in talent, and they took their time, so he should come back pretty strong. But then they signed Hubbard for years, and so that does obviously throw a wrench in it. But then if White's there too at the level he's at right now, then that's about what Hubbard I feel like after a little bit would be. So why Irving over Brooks?
So I'm looking at it this way, in that they've both been there all season long, and White had some bad weeks, but they're showing that they have the ability to be playable in the way that we've talked about running backs before, where I'm okay with Bucky being my pick there and it staying exactly the same. I don't think Rachaad White is going to get more of the snap percentage back. I think they've earned a pretty close to 50-50 split. And if Bucky stays 50-50, it's so hard to find running backs in the rookie drafts that he's getting the points there, and I think he can grow into that. And am I saying they're going to be Gibbs Montgomery? No, but I'll take Gibbs Montgomery light.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I think I would have probably still done Brooks above Bucky Irving, but I get it. This is the time where everything is sexy for about a round and a half before we know anything, because you can make up a story like about all of them and how great they'll be. I think right here is a round where we picked Worthy, which seemed like what a steal.
Yeah,
and that might be about where he should be. But after seeing him, I think it's clear to me that he wasn't enough for them to be A1. He's probably the right choice here. I'm gonna say the name that I'm gonna choose, and then if you give me a gross response, I might. That's how tilted I am on this one. I might just immediately withdraw like you almost did. Okay. I'll say it out loud. Drake Maye.
So I guess my question is, are we drafting this as if we're putting our team together and you just picked Bo Nix and Drake Maye back to back?
No, these are all different people.
Just ranking. Okay.
I'm sitting here, right. and also we've talked about this. Like, you go team need slightly more than I do, and I go best available in rookie drafts almost exclusively. So for me, either way, I would just be picking the best available here, even if I was okay at quarterback.
That said, then I might have gone Brooks here, but I don't think it's the wrong answer.
Yeah. I'm going to go, that was close enough to one that didn't make me feel embarrassed. So I'm going to go Drake Maye in the first round. Yeah. That felt weird.
I mean, it's going to make you feel
Where did he go? I thought he was in the first round anyways. Didn't he surprise us with, or was it McCarthy that went in the first round?
It was McCarthy that went in the first round because someone was on tilt during our real draft. And missed out on Jayden Daniels going in like 8 or 9 spot.
So your head was already on quarterback.
Yeah. And so I went tilt here a little bit. Man, and this is where it starts getting a little questionable.
This one is the easiest one for me right now, since it got tough. I have 2 players in my mind, and whoever you don't pick is who I would grab.
I hate when you say that crap, dude.
That means there's 2 right answers.
I think here I go.
Don't mess it up.
I think I still go Worthy here. I think he's still in.
That's what I was going to do.
First round.
Yeah.
Still a first round talent. He's still someone that, he's going to be the go route option guy. And so what that means for you is sometimes it's like Alec Pierce. You get unbelievable weeks and you're going to get weeks where he doesn't touch the ball or touches it negatively. But I think he's just someone that's worth having there.
There's 2 players, and I said, so easy after you do this. I'm going to do yada yada. And now I'm starting to question. Okay, I want your opinion on this one. The 2 players, I'm running back, both of them in between. Brooks and Benson, because Brooks is better. Benson has started showing stuff, and Connor is old. So Hubbard's going to be there a while.
Right.
And it's going to be Brooks, Hubbard, and it might be one of those Achane Mosterts, Montgomery, Gibbs, but it could also be one of those Braylon Allen, like Hall, So Benson might be the right answer out of the 2 of them there. But I guess I'm having a little bit of I think I'm having a little bit of a hard time choosing that.
Interesting. I have a hard time. The Hubbard contract does mess up the whole world, right? But I'm looking at, I would have been Brooks. Like I said, I would have been Brooks on your last pick. So I would probably go Brooks here, but we still haven't, obviously it's going against everything I've said on our past episodes where like, I need to see it first. But I think Brooks is probably the right answer there.
All right. So I'm going to make it harder for you by choosing him. Let's do a few more as fast as we can.
Okay. Then I don't need any faces from you. Just kidding.
Everything at this point is going to be a face.
Right.
I've got two so whichever one you don't pick.
Okay, so it's going to be a running back again. I'm going to go Trey Benson here because I was on that same page for you.
Okay.
So we don't talk through that. My next one might surprise you, though. Xavier Legette, huh?
Yeah, I think it's the right time. They seem like they believe in him. He seems like he's doing pretty well. They seem to believe in him, and he's got crap quarterback, and he's still contributing and doing really well as a rookie, taking out the outliers that we sometimes have as rookie wide receivers. So I'm going Legette.
Just because I don't know how much deeper we're going to go, I want to talk about this guy. So I'm going to put his pick here. Because he was another surprising guy who came out the gates really well. And then I don't know if he got injured. I didn't pay attention to him enough the first few weeks. But when he came back, he just went right back into being someone that's going to get a few receptions a game. Let's talk about Devaughn Vele.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I wonder where he spells.
Vele is Vele. Vele. There are other options here.
I'm not ready to talk about him at all. Ranked 822 before the season. All right, so what do you want to say about him?
Just that he's a rookie growing alongside a rookie quarterback and a target machine earlier in his first game, and he's getting as many passes. If he didn't miss 3 games, he'd have as many passes as the other rookies that we've talked about.
Yeah.
So he's got the opportunities there. There's better answers here. I think we could have probably started talking about those other running backs that were not listed here. Sure. Ray Davis, Braylon Allen are under consideration here. We haven't talked about Keon Coleman, if you think he's the guy or a guy. He's dropping passes left and right, but whatever.
This is probably where it's okay to pick him, but yeah Vele is somebody that's been completely off my radar here. I haven't even sent a trade for him. I send trades for everyone. Actually, I did send it a few weeks ago, but I haven't done it every week like I usually do. All right, cool. I like this one. I gotta. Our deadline ends at the end of this football game that's going on in a minute, so I think I'm going to send a couple trades out for him. I think you're right. All right, my next player that I'm gonna pick this guy. I mortgaged my future for him. I'm saying that a little aggressively, but I did trade a lot to get him, and I shouldn't have so far, but it's still possible. Trinity himself, Ricky Pearsall. So immediately when Pearsall got healthy and came back in, and I don't know if he's even still 100%, but because he got shot and then he's coming in, and I can't believe he's already back. But either way, this wide receiver immediately grabs some targets, 5, 4, 6. He had a goose egg this last one, which kind of hit a little bit but I'm just trying to go with the process. Everybody gooses once in a while, especially rookies. Everybody has a bad game here or there. That's fine. And Kittle was out, so that's what made it surprising. And he's battling with Juwan Jennings. I think there's a real opportunity here. Ayuk is out right now, and he'll probably be out until the beginning of next season too. At least not 100% for a while. And then, but at the same time, Debo might not be there. So we've got a possible losing Debo. Kittle's aging out. McCaffrey's aging out. Ricky Pearsall has talent, and they immediately start throwing his way, and he looks good. So I think this is a good place. I believe him more than I do with Keon Coleman. So Ricky Pearsall is my pick here.
Got it. I'm going to put in, and I'm going to say this is our last pick as we're going into
sounds great
halfway through the second round. But I'm going to go back to wide receiver here, and go with. Wait, what happened? Did you skip my pick? Where'd Vele go?
I did do that by accident. Yeah. So that is actually, our team works fast behind the scenes, and that is already fixed. So who is your pick?
So I'm going to go with Jaylon Coker here. Coker's starting to show up. His snap percentage has grown. His targets have grown week over week. If it hadn't been the touchdown a few weeks ago, his point totals would have grown week over week over week. So I think that he's just someone that's going to continue to grow into it. I am a little worried about what happens if Bryce Young ends up being the guy or not the guy, or what's going to happen going forward. But I think Jaylon Coker's just got the talent to be someone you could take a risk on halfway through the second round of rookie draft.
Love it. Cool. All right. So as a quick refresh, we went. Did you notice? I don't know if you noticed this. The top 5 picks we have are all on my team. We've got Nabers, Harrison, Bowers, Daniels, and Brian Thomas all on my dynasty team. And then Lad McConkey on yours, Odunze on yours, Tracy, Bo Nix, Irving, Legette, Vele, Pearsall, Coker, to round us out there. Oh, I also didn't do Benson. You picked Benson too. I just wasn't putting your picks in. Is how it went.
That apparently. All right, whatever. But yeah, I did happen to notice that. So through trade and draft, good job, whatever. But anyway, that's the rookie draft re-rank. We're going to probably revisit this again at the end of the year. Or maybe we talk about our sophomores as we go into the rookies next year.
Let me slip in one tiny thing here, because you mentioned through trade, and I want to I'll cut it up in a short, and maybe people can comment and let us know. Today I traded away, pretty much it was straight up AJ Brown for Bowers, and I have very deep wide receivers, so AJ Brown it's okay. Like in my starting lineup, he got replaced with like Marvin Harrison Jr. So I feel okay about it. But AJ Brown for Bowers, I think it was like a win-win for both players, for both teams. But I want to hear people's thoughts on it, because I was a little tilted getting rid of AJ Brown, especially as somebody that's competing right now. But Bowers,
you've really wanted Bowers for a while now.
Yeah,
I tried to snake him from you at one point, but it wasn't going through, and I hadn't revisited it. And you got back to it before I did. So, congrats on that. You got a really young, talented team. Like I said, if you don't win that this year, it's like, well, what are you even doing here with the team that you have?
Okay, if you don't make playoffs after winning the first 2 seasons, same.
I've still won the same first 2 seasons. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, that's true. All right. All right, it's been real. If you are listening on podcasts form, then you can go ahead and you could leave us a rating and follow us. And on YouTube, you can go ahead and leave a comment, like, subscribe. Again, just change it from 79 to 78 or 80, whatever works best. Just let's get it moving. I think it's just stuck, and we need to kick the gear a bit. But it's been real, and we will talk again soon, y'all. See you, Nate.
Peace.